For generations, owning a car came with a simple, almost meditative rhythm. Every few thousand miles, you'd pop the hood, let the old oil drain into a pan, screw on a fresh filter, and roll out of your driveway knowing you just kept $50 in your pocket and avoided that dealership waiting room with stale coffee and a TV permanently tuned to cable news. That era? It's quietly being phased out. And here's the part they don't advertise. It's not happening by chance. Today's auto industry is orchestrating a very deliberate split. On one side, you have manufacturers building what are essentially recurring revenue ecosystems. They're engineering vehicles not just to sell, but to tether you to dealer-controlled maintenance networks for the entire lifespan of the car. On the other side, a shrinking handful of brands that still build machines regular people can actually work on. Meanwhile, luxury marques are posting record profits while dealerships charge $300, $500, sometimes $800 for what used to be a 45-minute garage job. The modern car is increasingly built around proprietary fluids, software resets, and diagnostic tools that the average owner simply doesn't have sitting on their workbench. What the dealerships won't tell you is this: many of these vehicles technically allow you to change your own oil. But the moment you try, you hit digital lockouts, warranty gray areas, and maintenance systems that silently demand dealer authorization to finish the job. By the time you've wrestled with all that, you've already burned a Saturday, and you're booking an appointment anyway. That's why smart buyers in 2026 are asking a completely different question. Not which car is fastest, but which car still lets me actually own it? Stick around to the end, because the final brand on this list didn't just discourage the DIY oil change, they basically invented the modern repair lockout playbook. If you're the kind of person who wants to know what really happens after you drive off the lot, hit subscribe right now, because most car content stops at the sticker price. We're just getting started on what it actually costs to own these machines. Let's start with BMW. There was a time when BMW built cars for people who spent weekends wrenching in their own garages. The old E30 chassis, the E36, even the early E46, those were machines that rewarded mechanical curiosity. Today, the brand has transformed into something fundamentally different. A software-driven luxury ecosystem where even routine maintenance increasingly routes through dealer systems, whether you want it to or not. Here's the data. In 2024, BMW moved to 55 million vehicles globally, a record. Average dealership oil service now runs anywhere from $199 to $450, depending on the model and engine spec. And BMW residual values remain among the strongest in the luxury segment, which tells you the brand has successfully convinced buyers that the premium is worth it. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. BMW engines now rely on what they call condition-based service, a digital algorithm that decides when maintenance is actually due based on driving conditions, oil degradation rates, and thermal management data. Resetting that system after a DIY oil change often requires navigating the iDrive service menu, running an OBD diagnostic tool, or in many cases, dealer-level software called ISTA that you simply cannot buy at AutoZone. Add to that proprietary oil specifications, BMW Long Life 17. FE Plus isn't a suggestion, it's an engineering requirement. The average DIY mechanic starts hitting walls fast. You can physically drain the oil, but if the system isn't reset correctly, your dashboard will scream at you for the next 3,000 miles that service is overdue. Most owners eventually give up and just pay the dealership. BMW didn't outlaw the DIY oil change. They just replaced the wrench with a login screen. Next up, Mercedes-Benz, otherwise known as the $800 Oil Change Club. Mercedes used to be the gold standard of overbuilt mechanical engineering. The old diesel WW123 sedans were practically indestructible, the kind of cars you pass down to your kids with 250,000 miles on the clock. Today, the brand has repositioned itself as a symbol of luxury service dependency, and your wallet is the one paying for that repositioning. Here's what the numbers show. A standard Mercedes Service A, which includes an oil change, filter replacement, and multi-point inspection, routinely runs between $300 and $850 at dealerships. Maintenance costs for Mercedes ownership consistently rank in the top 3 for luxury ownership expenses industry-wide, and all of it is tracked through a system called Assist Plus, Mercedes' electronic service interval manager. The real kicker is how deeply integrated that system is. Resetting service intervals on a modern Mercedes often requires dealer-specific scanners, software recalibration, and digital service log updates that feed into the vehicle's central electronic architecture. Independent mechanics can do some of it, but not all of it, and not always cleanly. A basic oil service that used to cost $50 now routinely pushes $600 or more at a Mercedes dealership. That's not inflation, that's a business model. Owning a Mercedes doesn't just mean luxury driving, it means luxury maintenance bills, permanently. Then there's Porsche, precision engineering, precision control. Porsche built its entire reputation on engineering purity and enthusiast loyalty. The brand has one of the most passionate ownership communities in the automotive world, and for good reason. The engineering is genuinely exceptional. But modern Porsche ownership increasingly revolves around dealer-managed maintenance systems, and that enthusiasm costs you every time the odometer ticks up. Oil service on a Porsche ranges from $400 to $900 depending on the model. The 911 GT cars, the Cayenne Turbo, the Panamera, all of them require highly specific synthetic oils. Many use dry sump lubrication systems with tight tolerances that punish incorrect specification choices, and all service resets are tied to Porsche's proprietary PWIS diagnostic software network. Here's the thing. You can physically perform the oil change. Nothing is mechanically preventing you. But resetting the maintenance logs and service intervals without PWIS is where the wall appears. Porsche resale values rank among the highest in the entire industry, which means owners have a strong financial incentive to keep service records clean and dealer verified. Even if you do the work yourself, skipping the digital paper trail costs you money when you sell. Changing oil on a Porsche is less like routine maintenance and more like performing surgery with Swiss watch components. And Porsche knows exactly what that precision is worth to you. If you're finding this investigation useful, and let's be honest, your dealership isn't going to hand you this breakdown, hit subscribe, because most car content won't tell you how these companies actually make their money after the sale. And we're just getting started. Number 4, Land Rover. Complexity overload. Land Rover once meant something straightforward, a utilitarian go-anywhere machine built for people who needed to cross rivers, not impress valet attendants. Today, Land Rover represents one of the most brutally complex luxury ownership experiences in the entire industry, and the maintenance ecosystem reflects every bit of that complexity. Land Rover consistently ranks near the bottom of reliability surveys across every major consumer research organization. Dealer maintenance costs for Discovery, Defender, and Range Rover models are among the highest in the full-size luxury SUV segment. And here's where it gets truly desperate. The engineering complexity that makes these vehicles impressive also makes them a nightmare to service without the right equipment. Modern Land Rovers rely on electronic service tracking, multi-system software diagnostics, and tightly packaged engine bays that were clearly not designed with a backyard mechanic in mind. DIY maintenance doesn't just require determination, it requires dealer-grade tools, software access, and a working knowledge of a platform architecture that Land Rover actively does not publish for independent use. Owning a Land Rover without a nearby dealership is like owning a yacht without a harbor. The machine works beautifully in the right conditions. Getting stranded outside those conditions is an entirely different story. Number 5, Volvo, the Scandinavian software car. Volvo used to build boxy, bulletproof machines that owners could maintain in their driveways with a basic socket set and a repair manual. The old 240 series were practically the North Star of DIY-friendly engineering. Simple, logical, designed to last. That Volvo is gone. The modern brand is transitioning aggressively towards software-defined vehicles, targeting a 100% electric lineup by 2030. Their new platform architecture integrates maintenance tracking with digital service systems and online service logs that sync with Volvo's central network. Independent mechanics who want to reset service intervals or access diagnostic data often need paid software subscriptions to Vita, Volvo's proprietary diagnostic platform. The tools required to properly complete what used to be a simple oil reset now live behind a paywall that independent shops and individual owners were never intended to access easily. The Volvo that invited you into the garage with a wrench has been replaced by one that hands you a software license agreement. Modern Volvo ownership feels less like owning a machine and more like running a Scandinavian operating system. Updates included, control not included. Here's a question for the comments section. Have you noticed dealership service prices rising in your area, or are you still doing your own oil changes? Let me know below, because the data we're seeing suggests most owners have quietly given up, and I want to know if that matches what you're experiencing. Number 6, Audi, the spec sheet trap. Audi built its image around precision German engineering and the idea that you're buying something technically superior. On the engineering side, that reputation is largely earned. But here's what the brand doesn't lead with in the marketing materials. Their fluid specification ecosystem is one of the most restrictive in the entire industry. Audi, operating under the VW Group umbrella, enforces oil standards like VW 504.0 and 507.0 that go far beyond basic viscosity ratings. These specifications limit which aftermarket oils are genuinely certified for use in your engine. Using the wrong oil, even a high-quality synthetic that doesn't carry VW Group certification, can trigger warranty disputes, and in some documented cases, sensor warnings and service flags that follow the vehicle's digital record permanently. Maintenance costs for Audi ownership rank among the highest in German luxury brands across multiple industry cost studies. The precision engineering you paid for on the sticker comes with precision maintenance requirements that funnel you toward dealer-approved products and dealer-performed service at every interval. Audi didn't lock the oil cap. They locked the chemistry inside the bottle. And that's a far more elegant lockout than anything involving a wrench. Number 7. Mini. Luxury maintenance in a small package. Mini began as one of the most accessible enthusiast cars on the market. Small, nimble, cheap to run, easy to work on. The original formula was the opposite of high-maintenance luxury. Then, BMWs bought the brand, and the maintenance formula changed entirely. Modern Mini vehicles run on BMW's condition-based service architecture, the same digital maintenance management system that governs much larger, far more expensive BMW models. Dealer oil changes on current Mini models regularly run $200 to $350, which is a remarkable number for a compact car that was supposed to be affordable to own. And DIY service often requires the same specialized reset tools that BMW ownership demands. Many buyers don't expect this. They walk in expecting an accessible, quirky, reasonably affordable car. The sticker price might be reasonable. The ownership costs are not. You bought a small car and inherited a large dealership dependency. Mini might be small, but its maintenance ecosystem is pure luxury bureaucracy stuffed into a hatchback body. Number 8. Tesla, the company that deleted oil changes. Tesla didn't just discourage the DIY oil change. They engineered it out of existence entirely and replaced it with something that gives dealerships a headache, while simultaneously creating a new category of repair lockout that nobody in the industry had really seen before. Tesla vehicles are fully electric, which means no engine oil changes, no oil filters, no conventional fluid service intervals. On that specific front, Tesla genuinely solved a real problem. But here's where it gets truly interesting. What Tesla replaced the oil change with is a software-controlled repair ecosystem that is arguably more restrictive than anything the German luxury brands built. Tesla service operations run through direct manufacturer control. Components in Tesla vehicles are frequently software paired to the car's central system, meaning that replacing certain parts without manufacturer authorization can render those parts non-functional. Independent repair shops routinely report inability to access diagnostic documentation, parts pairing tools, or software authorization needed to complete repairs. The Right to Repair movement has specifically named Tesla as a central case study in manufacturer-controlled service restriction. And get this, Tesla operates no traditional dealer network, meaning there's no independent franchise dealer to push back on service pricing or advocate for the consumer. When Tesla sets a service price, that's the price. Tesla solved the oil change problem the Silicon Valley way. Delete the oil, lock the computer, control the entire vertical stack from manufacturing to maintenance. The machine is innovative. The ownership model is the industry's most aggressive version of repair restriction, dressed up as modernization. The modern automotive market in 2026 isn't just a competition over horsepower, range, or tech features. It's a battle between two completely different philosophies of what car ownership actually means. On one side, you have the traditional model, vehicles designed to be maintained, repaired, and genuinely owned by the people who bought them. Machines that invite you into the garage. Platforms that independent mechanics can actually work on without a software subscription. On the other side, you have what this list represents. Vehicles packed with proprietary diagnostic systems, certified fluid requirements, encrypted service intervals, and software architectures that quietly redirect every maintenance decision back toward the dealership. From a pure business standpoint, the strategy is rational. Dealership service departments generate billions in recurring revenue, often more total profit over a vehicle's life than the original sale itself. But for you, the buyer, the lesson is brutally simple. Before you sign anything, don't just research the 0 to 60 time, the cargo space, or whether it comes with heated seats. Ask one critical question. How easy is this car to maintain once the warranty expires? Because the difference between a vehicle designed for owners and a vehicle designed for service departments can mean thousands of dollars over the life of that car. Here's the thing. The brands on this list are not going anywhere. Some of them build genuinely impressive machines. But impressive engineering and owner-hostile maintenance ecosystems are not mutually exclusive, and the industry is betting you won't notice the second part until you're already 3 years into your loan. If you want the unfiltered truth about the automotive industry, the corporate strategies, the ownership traps, and the brands that are actually worth your money, hit subscribe to MotorMine right now. The next video might just save you from your next $1,000 oil change.